In 1988, we got the big blockbuster action-packed film that was Die Hard. 2 years after, Die Hard 2. 5 years after that, Die Hard with a Vengeance. 12 years after that, Live Free or Die Hard. And now, yippee-ki-yay, Mother Russia. As we got a fifth one 6 years later. But is it really that bad? Or can I defend this film by any means? Well, just brace yourselves and see as I bring to you a review of A Good Day to Die Hard. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Yippee-ki-yay. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome again to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2013 action thriller flick, A Good Day to Die Hard, released by Fox, directed by John Moore, written by Skip Woods. This is the fifth and final installment of the Die Hard film series. Starring Bruce Willis once again reprising his role as John McClane one last time. And this time around, he travels to Russia to get his estranged son, Jack, an undercover CIA agent, out of prison, and is soon caught in the crossfire of a global terrorist plot. The film also stars Courtney, Sebastian Koch, Hauser and Yulia Snigir. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. The film was released on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2013, just 2 weeks after it made its premiere at like Leicester Square. Apparently, talks of this began before the release of Live Free or Die Hard, the previous installment from 2007, with Willis affirming that the latter would not be the last in the series, but pre-production didn't start until 2011, and, well, John Moore was officially announced. Well, unlike the other films, this film got dissed hard, way hard, but however became a big hit. It was also the first film to be financed by TSG Entertainment since Fox, before it got merged with Disney to become 20th Century Studios, left Disney Entertainment upon the completion of their distribution contract but at the end of the previous year. Now, before I go into the story, if you haven't seen my reviews of the other four films in the Die Hard series, I advise you to click on that card coming up right about now. There we go, and catch all of them in case you might miss them or if you would like to see them again. Okay, now on with the story. In Moscow, Viktor Chagarin, a high-ranking corrupt Russian official, plans to incriminate former billionaire and government whistleblower Yuri Komarov in a rigged trial unless he hands over a secret file believed to contain evidence incriminating Victor. Separately, Jack McClane, arrested after an assassination attempt, negotiates for a shorter sentence by offering to testify against Komarov. Jack's father, NYPD police detective John McClane, who has not been in touch with his son for several years, learns he's in trouble and flies to Russia. As John approaches the courthouse where Komarov is on trial, an explosion orchestrated by Victor's henchman, Alec, occurs in the courthouse, and Jack breaks free with Komarov. John confronts Jack, but their dispute is cut short as Alec and his men chase them in an MRAP through Moscow. Hiding in a safe house, John finds out that Jack is a CIA operative and has been on an undercover operation for the past 3 years. Jack's partner, Mike Collins, demands the files location from Komarov so the CIA can bring Victor down. He agrees on the condition that he and his daughter are given safe passage out of Russia. The group are ambushed by Victor's men. Collins is shot and killed while the McClanes and Komarov escape, making their way to a hotel to get the safe deposit box key containing the file. There they meet up with Komarov's daughter, Irina. As planned, Alec and his men burst in and tie up John and Jack, taking Komarov hostage. Irina confesses to informing on them. Jack breaks free of his ties and he and John kill most of the guards present. Alec and Irina, with Komarov still their hostage, return in a Mi-24 attack helicopter and try to kill them, but they escape. That night, Jack and John steal a car full of weapons, driving to Pripyat, Ukraine, where the safe deposit box with the file is located, only to find that Komarov, Irina, and Alec are already there. John feels suspicious at the scene since there are many men loading containers in the vehicles, while instead they are supposed to only get a secret file. The safe deposit box with the supposed file is a secret passage to a Chernobyl area vault containing €1 billion. Yeah, worth of weapons grade uranium. It turns out that there is no secret file, and Komarov and Irina have concocted a scheme to steal the uranium deposit to make big money in the black market. Komarov kills Alec and calls Victor to gloat as the latter is killed by one of Komarov's men while he's in the sauna. Now for the ending. You better stop this video at once. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below as I count down now. If you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. As John and Jack enter the vault, Komarov pretends that he is glad that they are coming to save him, but Jack realizes the uranium in the vault and figures out the whole scheme. As he and John prepare to apprehend Komarov, Irina and some henchmen come to her father's aid. As they prepare to leave, Jack follows Komarov while John goes after Irina, who is escaping in a Mi-26 helicopter. He sneaks into the rear compartment. Irina tries to protect her father by firing the helicopter's guns at Jack, but John is able to bring the helicopter off balance by driving a truck out of the cargo section while it is secured to the helicopter by a chain. Komarov taunts Jack by saying he will get to watch his father die, prompting Jack to hurl him off the rooftop and into the spinning helicopter blades, killing him. John is thrown from the truck and into the building. As Jack and John reunite, Irina tries to avenge her father by ramming the helicopter, now out of ammunition, into the building in a suicide attack. John and Jack leap off the building into a large pool of water as the helicopter crashes and explodes, killing Irina. In the end, having reconciled, John and Jack fly back home to the US and are reunited with an excited Lucy. End of story. So, what did I think of A Good Day to Die Hard? Well, to be honest, I agree with what critics are saying. This is the weakest of the franchise. I can tell you that. Anyway, now then. The film's reviews were heavily dissed, ranking as the worst reviewed film in the franchise than any other film in the franchise. It's even lower than Die Hard with a Vengeance. It's the only film not to be certified fresh or even fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, as it's set to have a mere 15% saying the film is the weakest entry in a storied franchise. And not even Bruce Willis's smirking demeanor can enliven a cliched, uninspired script. Metacritic gave it a 28 score, and on both websites the film ranked lowest among the Die Hard films. Audiences polled by CinemaScore also kind of gave it the lowest score of the franchise by giving it a B+. A.O. Scott of the New York Times described the film as a handful of extended set pieces, each more elaborate and therefore somehow less exciting than the last, linked by a simple-minded plot and a handful of half-clever lines. Though complimenting the special effects, he criticizes the direction of John Moore, the lack of style, and writes that everything that made the first Die Hard memorable, the nuances of character, the political subtext, the cowboy wit, has been dumbed down or scrubbed away entirely. Well, I do agree and what have you. Richard Roper, standing in for Roger Ebert on his website, Ebert's website was really hard on this, giving this a mere 1.5 stars, criticizing the implausibility of the action sequences as well as the film's lack of sufficient characterization for McClane and the villains as compared to the other films in the franchise, saying that McClane has been stripped of any real traces of an actual three-dimensional character, and that the film never gives us a chance to get the least bit involved with any of these characters. Well, that's factually true, yes. Kenneth Turan of the LA Times gave this 2 out of 5 and remarked that it lacked inspiration, and that the on screen rivalry of Willis and Courtney was more irritant than enticement. I agree on that, yes. Tom McCarthy of The Hollywood Reporter expressed similar sentiments, particularly on the direction, for which he says that Moore has directed these sequences in a way that makes the incidents look so far fetched and essentially unsurvivable that you can only laugh. On some rare positive reviews, the Daily Telegraph's Robbie Cullen remarked that yet even though the ride finally stalls, the film has been thrustingly outrageous enough in its earlier moments to coast to the finish line on momentum. Daniel M. Kimmel, writing for the New England Movies Weekly, found the film to be better than the last film and states that the car chase scene is well worth the price of admission. Let's see, and also finished up by saying it's probably a good day to end the series at last, but it's an action-packed and entertaining finale. Rick Goen of the Globe and Mail criticized the action scenes as being messy, but concluded his review saying that the film continues the franchise without undue embarrassment. Peter Howell of the Toronto Star remarked that Willis and Courtney made a strong, estranged family duo, and that the film had a nice drinking game routine going for it, with how many times McClane exclaimed, I'm on vacation during the running time. Well, again, I completely do understand. I'm kind of mixed on this. Well, it's okay, but it's not the best of the franchise, though. I agree that this is easily the weakest of the franchise, and not only that, the film runs at 97 minutes, and that's shorter than any other film in the franchise. That's another issue I have with this. Now, although I appreciate them having a great composer like Marco Beltrami on board to do the score, which that was absolutely really good, certainly. But I'm afraid even with old Bruce Willis, I will say it just isn't strong enough to give it enough power. Despite all the dissing and what have you, the film's still nevertheless willing to become a big hit, going on to make $304 million worldwide on its $92 million budget. Anyway, and not only that, the film did get a nomination for Favorite Thriller Movie at the People's Choice Awards. It also got nominated at the Golden Trailer Awards for Best International Poster, Teaser Poster, and Pre-Show Theatrical Advertising. Now, there was a video game for Android and iOS. But of course, Willis expressed his desire to retire the character in a sixth and final film, so that, of course, henceforth has been canceled. Now, in lieu of company-wide reorganization, Disney is said to be rebooting the property as a streaming series on Hulu, but I'm gonna say it's very unlikely, considering I've been hearing Hulu might be no more sooner or later. But, well, it's alright and what have you. At least I think this was a good chance to do this. Now, of course, with Marco Beltrami, who had also composed the music for the last film, Live Free or Die Hard, which, again, I say he still did a good job and what have you. And I appreciated them having the the Rolling Stones, new type of song that was out at that time, Doom and Gloom out at the end credits, which I found that to be a good aspect. But again, I don't think this was worth enough to save this in YB. Some of the action sequences were hit or miss in YB. The car chase scene was fine. Please excuse me. Sorry about that, everyone. But I don't really think this could even save this and what have you. Well, even with some action sequences being decent enough. And the film was directed by John Moore, who was certainly no stranger to working with Fox. This was actually the fifth film he directed for the studio, as he had already recently directed Behind Enemy Lines, the 2004 remake of Flight of the Phoenix, the 2006 remake of The Omen, and Max Payne. His last film was the independently produced IT, which was a 2016 thriller with Pierce Brosnan, which I've never heard of, nor have I seen. But anyway, again, as I've said, this is not really the best film. Now, I appreciated Bruce Willis's performance as John McClane. He's still pretty good in what have you, but he's just not strong enough to save this film. Jai Courtney as Jack McClane, well, he's okay, but he just keeps calling his dad John almost every time until the last bit. Sebastian Koch as Komarov, not too bad. Yulia Snigir, again, sorry for mispronouncing that, as Arena, not too bad. Can't really pronounce the guy's name who played Alec. He was fine. Sergei Kolesnikov played Victor, fine. Cole Hauser was CIA officer Mike Collins, he was fine. We have Mary Elizabeth Winstead appearing as Lucy McClane. And we also have a special appearance by Aldous Hodge as Lieutenant Foxy, who had, of course, Hodge had previously played Raymond Carver in Die Hard with a Vengeance. So the cast is alright, with the exception of Bruce Willis, but again, this just wasn't strong enough to save this film from being a disaster, so I'm kind of mixed on it. The film's okay, but it's not really great, though. So, with everything said, A Good Day to Die Hard is okay. The cast is fine. The music is good and what have you. Some of the action sequences were hit or miss. Direction was okay too. So when I recommend it, well, I'm gonna give it a draw between give it a one-time watch if you're a hardcore completionist, or simply avoid this and just stick with the first four. Okay. Enough said. So what did you think of A Good Day to Die Hard? And well, I know I haven't ranked the films yet. Where would you rank this? Would you rank this as dead last on your ranking? Well, I might think of ranking the Die Hard franchise later in the year. Okay, I'll see what I can do. But leave it for me in the or what did you think of the film? Leave a comment for me in the comment section below. If you liked the video, click the like button. Click click to subscribe. Click the bell for notifications, excuse me, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of another film that really didn't do so hot, and that would be the family film North. So, anyway, if you like this, check out my reviews of a trilogy that also kind of got started off good, but soon got mixed and hated on, the Taken franchise. Check out my review of the classic itself, Taken, in the upper left-hand corner. The upper right-hand corner is my review of Taken 2, and the bottom left-hand corner is my review of Taken 3, which that review's done better than the other two. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.